Right, here I am. Hello. So I'm going to try this out. I did it once before, and it seemed to go pretty well, depending on who's in and who's got the questions and yeah, that kind of thing. So I already prayed about it. Maybe you can too. But if any, I see one comment asking me to show something to Muslims, but I'm assuming that there aren't many Muslims here. God bless you, Jordan. So I will make a note of that. I do have a pen and paper, but questions or topics, they don't have to be necessarily theological. They can be philosophical, I guess, to some extent, metaphysical, personal-ish. Yeah, let's see how we get on. I'm confident that either Jeff or Jordan will not leave me sitting here waffling. If it comes to it, hi, Rodney. If it comes to it, I do have something prepared. Not that I don't trust you all. Hi, anonymous man. However, I don't trust you all. No, I'm joking. I do. Ish. So, questions would be lovely. Topics. Thomas T. No, is the short answer. I'm not a Templar. I don't think I look good in chainmail. It's a very long way to the Holy Land. I have been there, but I wasn't armored up at the time. Jordan, I'm going to make a note of that one because that's pretty massive. Although JC did suggest that. I'm just, funnily enough, I've just been invited to a Bible study on the Advent. Hope I got it. I can expand upon that. But any other questions, and then we'll make a start. Jordan, I'm not dismissing your question. I'm just holding it back. I'm pleased you're taking it well, because the first thing that popped into my mind, all for as it is Advent calendars. And I don't want to do any free advertising or any advertising, full stop. Hello, Craw. Long time no see, lovey. So you're all horrific people. Nothing. Martin, watcha. Give us a topic. Give me a topic. I don't mean the well-known chocolate bar in England, although that is still not advertising. Okay, Thomas T. I don't have the statistics. Thomas is asking, he heard a rumor. I went all gender, what's name then? Sorry. He heard a rumor that within 20 years, Muslims will be a majority in the UK, and he's asking for confirmation. The thing about statistics is this. 87.642% of statistics are made up on the spot, just like I did. And also it would be an inductive argument, philosophically speaking or logically speaking. You can't know for certain that the UK or the world will be here in 20 years. If we look at birth rates, and illegal immigration is certainly a factor, and immigration and reverts, if that's not such a ridiculous thing. It's possible. No, not the UK. There are certain cities within the UK which I don't think there are any majority. It depends what you define as a city, i.e. there are small pockets or boroughs which are certainly majority Muslim. I don't believe necessarily that Muslims are majority Muslim, if that makes sense, because of the pressure from parents and grandparents, etc. Lots of the Muslims I know, at least, are more in the cultural Christian bracket of cultural Islam, if that makes sense. I've seen people eating sausage rolls. We'll leave it at that. Yeah. So, okay. So what else do we have? Tyler is asking, what's your views on COVID? What are my views on COVID? So I'd like to firstly state that I'm not a medical or propaganda professional. So that's out of the way. Anything I say are the views of me, potentially the views of you, maybe not. Let's all pretend that we live in a world where everyone's entitled to an opinion. Lol. My views on it, broadly speaking, I was asked the question today, will I, where are we going with this? I guess the word vaccination or inoculation, if you're of a certain age, is a bit of a misnomer in as much as traditional vaccines, or the word, like the verb to vaccinate, implies that the only dose of the illness you will get is the one that's injected into you in order for you to build a resistance and therefore not get that illness in the future, post-inoculation, post-vaccination. However, what we see is that is not the case, certainly. So I'm wondering, why in a world where certain well-known people have spoken about population control, for example, within the last decade to 2 decades, the self-same people are all of a sudden like some kind of pantomime villain going, now I want to save you all. Here's the magic potion. It doesn't stop you getting the illness. It doesn't stop you passing it on, but like no 10-year longevity trials to see how it all turns out. But like, please do. And here's a massive Project Fear, just in case you had your own mind. Hi, Mohammed. That's what I think about that. Yep, that's what I think about that. There are many theories as to, any intention, any knowledge of prior to it becoming worldwide news. But I'm going to be clear of those for the moment. There was a book, I can't think of the title or the author, so it's kind of redundant, but that was stunningly prophetic, even though it was a work of fiction, even down to the words and I'll try and find those viral screenshots, etc. at another point. Thank you very, very much, God's Tomahawk. I didn't know you had one. It's probably at the back of the armor closet, as it were. Going Home is asking me what's wrong with KJV. Are they asking me or are they asking somebody else? What's wrong with the KJV? If thou thinketh, no, I'm joking. Per se, nothing off the top of my head springs up, as in I have recognizable issues, I guess, with the Latin Vulgate. The KJV in and of itself, it's not like, for example, the JW Bible. I think that's the New World or New Living Translation. Sorry to whichever one is not the JW one. Like, there are issues with that. The translator of the JW Bible was forced to appear in court in Great Britain and admit that they had no special qualifications to be able to translate Koine, which is just a lol fest if you think about it. Costa Mamis is asking me, have I preached anywhere outdoors besides England? Besides England? No, I don't. I was just running through any time I've been loud in Spain, but that's just an English thing. No, I don't think I have. I'm not really a street preacher, although there was one memorable occasion when the Spirit came on me on a bus. I think I've spoken about that before. I was blushing and everything, but I couldn't stop. And at the end, somebody clapped, which was good. And I broke up a fight, etc. Just with my voice and the Holy Spirit. So I'm glad to answer that. Any John Smith, very generic name if it is yours, like you are one of many. What's up with Ben not coming to the corner and your thoughts? Ben will be coming back. That is the fact, according to Ben, anyway. Thank you, Chloe. So, yeah, everybody's entitled to some sort of sabbatical or a little lay down. I've purposely not really got involved in any of the twaddle surrounding all, like making videos and then responding to videos and then making more comments and videos, and I can't be bothered. So what I do is I just give him a ring, not a shiny one with a diamond, but I just call him up and he will be back. So hold on to your hats, everybody, or your hankies if you don't have a hat. Hope that answers that one. I'm just whizzing through. Look at me, I'm on fire. Paladine, you're such a little agitator. Really, really are. Okay, if you want to put maybe question at the front, then I'll know. I mean, I can. Hang on, Thomas is asking a question. I just didn't see the question mark because it's in the middle. Okay, Thomas T, I'm going to read it out verbatim. Although I'm going to correct your grammar, I'm so sorry. It's nothing. I know my spell check hates me also. Thomas lost his faith 2 years ago. He's trying to return to Catholicism, although he writes it with a small c. I suspect he means Roman Catholicism. Let me know. And how can he return? He's asking me. And by the way, he likes my videos and is a big fan of me and the David Wood. So what I would firstly let you know, Thomas, is that both David and I are Protestant, which is Catholicism with a small c, if you're interested. That's another question someone can ask, and I'm happy to go through that. How do you return? That's a good question. I guess consider prayerfully, if you're at the praying stage yet. No, man, like H. Consider prayerfully what drew you out in the first place, whether you were truly committed in the first place. I don't mean to suggest that you weren't, but maybe you weren't. Maybe you were like cultural Catholic. Yeah, Thomas, I thought that. I understand that many of my Catholic friends are a little bit like they're not the biggest fanboys or girls of Francis. He needs a blessing. That man needs a blessing. How do you return to Catholicism? Via Protestantism. And put the RC on hold. I don't know. Like I'm happy to, if you have any specific questions, I can defend Catholicism somewhat. And a Christian is a Christian is a Christian in my book. It's quite a small book, like my personal book, crayon and everything. Villainous, it's so lovely to see you. And I got my Spannerville in a non-creepy fangirl fashion. Just happy that your heckling last night was to know about. Right. Any more? Yeah. Okay, so my thoughts on purgatory. God bless you, GTCPDA new. It's a couple of acronyms there. My thoughts are in line with Anglicanism, the Church of England, in as much as Article 22, don't quote me on that, but it is 22, 21, says purgatory is a fiction. That's how I feel about it. Also, I did an entire video and I got embarrassed like an hour into it and stopped reading all the verses. I have another like half an hour's worth of verses refuting the idea of purgatory. So that is on both of my channels as far as I'm aware. Thanks, Bill. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, prayer is going to be the first piece of advice, Thomas, and somebody else, Shine Brightly, just kindly gave it to you. So maybe right question at the beginning. Oh, John Smith, well done, sir. Right, just at the correct time. How do we get more Christians to the corner? We are outnumbered. Okay, so firstly, globally, we are so short of outnumbered, it's embarrassing. We are almost double. Like we have a good billion, as it were, more adherents, more Christians out there. The way that I got to the park was God, if that doesn't sound too like, woo, it shouldn't do on my stream. Bob actually was instrumental. I already knew Bob. I'd already argued with him at this early stage of the game. And I was in the middle of, I won't say irresistible grace because I'm not a Calvinist and I don't believe that's a universal way of, like my own full committal. Committal sounds like a psych ward. Not full conversion, but the coming to God forcefully, as it were, or God coming to me forcefully, was pretty irresistible in as much as I could have either accepted or died. Like those seem to be the options. And during this really dark time, I started watching Bob's videos and SOCO's videos, and I got a little written testimony about that, but it's a bit personalized. But either way, I saw Bob saying that we need strong Christians, and straight away, Satan was like, "What? That ain't you, love." And so I made a bit of a Luther, not Idris Elba, Martin Luther-esque promise. And I said to God, if you can just get Satan off my case, as it were, if you can just get me out of this corner, as in the theological corner, spiritual corner that I was in, I won't be ashamed of the gospel. I won't be embarrassed, and I will preach it boldly, and I will go wherever you want me to go. And like I made a deal, like I'll do it. No half-heartedness. Then when that all died down, I thought to myself, like I don't want to just go with my own will and then sort of like reverse engineer it and say that God told me to do it. So I just started praying about whether I should go or not. I'm coming to you, going home. So I started praying hard, and I've told, like my regulars will know, an atheist friend of mine who I've known since we were both kids at school together called me up and said, "Kay, please do me a massive favor." And I was like, "All right." And she said, come to Speaker's Corner with me. It's this place. There's loads of people. And I was just like, whoa. So I thought that was an answer to prayer, and I didn't look back after that. How long ago did I get saved? Going home, that's one that you're going to have to ask Jesus, really. I was christened as a baby. I don't necessarily agree with pedo baptism myself. I definitely remember as a 6-7-year-old, like a young girl, praying regularly every night when I was in bed. They were quite sweet now I think back. I remember them because I had like a set load of words, as it were. Yep, so there was that. When I was a teenager, I was pretty committed for some time. I remember I was blessed enough to see Billy Graham. And did all the things, stuck my hand up, went to the front. I can't remember now. Yeah, I think I just stood up. There were quite a lot of people there. What else? And then I came away. When I say I came away, I mean I came away. I was so, one day maybe, if we all look around and check there aren't any Muslims to use it against me, I'll walk you through all of that so maybe someone else doesn't have to. But I was so far away. Like I felt so far away. In reality, God was right in front of me the whole time, but I was blinded and deafened and hardened of heart, and it wasn't a thing for me. And I like arguing as well, so I was very uncharitable in the way that I attacked Christianity and Islam and any sort of theological structure, I guess. So it's been some years now, in answer to the question, that I've been back full time, as it were. That seems to have answered it. I hope so, anyway. Right. Just talk among yourselves while I try and read. No, there's nothing else. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, type it out again. I'll be your best friend. Ish. Don't know you, maybe. Other than that, I'm going to just eat some chocolate for a moment because it's quite a casual stream. Am I dropping chocolate on myself? Not yet, at least. Speaker's Corner, Christ Crucified. If that is for me, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I go to the Eucharist every Sunday. One of two churches usually. I try and mix them up. They are both around 1400 years old. They are two of the most beautiful buildings I've ever been in my life. And I've been in some pretty stunning structures, places. So yes, I do. Excuse me, is my answer. Okay, thoughts on the recent interviews with Bart Ehrman on AP's channel and Mojab. I'll tell you how the Dawa. Well, okay. So the second part of the question is, I'm curious how the Dawa teams will incorporate and going forward. They've already done it. They just splice the vid. I know, shock. I heard the gasps. Can you believe there are Islamic apologists who are disingenuous? I know. Can't believe it myself. Shocked, saddened. But yeah, they just snip it. Like for example, AP was saying last night when he says, well, the Quran is preserved, but so is Mein Kampf. Obviously, that bit gets cut off. Yes, Mohammed Hamdan. Two of the cathedrals in London that I'm speaking of, one of them is 605 AD as a sacred site, at least, because it was a monastery and a convent before it became what it is today. And the other one is 620. And they're in sight of each other. It's really beautiful. It's really nice. Anonymous man. Islamophobia was never a thing in the UK. It's a made-up medical term. A made-up site. It's not in the DSM. It's not in any psychiatric or psychological manuals, as far as I know at this moment. What it is in is critical consciousness theory twaddle, which used to be class consciousness theory until they changed the word because everyone got over racism. Because don't get me started. Oh, you can get me started if you want to, but this chocolate is quite yummy, so I'm trying to. Yeah, Rodney. So that was the wrong chocolate to be eating. Where's my drink? Oh no, where's my drink? Oh, it's behind me. Oh jeez. Yes, AP and David did do a good take on that, but I like to do what we call sleeping at 1:30 a.m. in the morning, often. So I had to just nip in and then pass out, basically. So I didn't catch the end of it. Okay, Villainous is asking, because we were on the topic of buildings, why are Christian buildings so beautiful when socialist buildings are so blah? Socialist buildings, you'll remember, I mean, they're too busy. I imagine at the time they were too busy forming subcommittees and subcommittees and, trying to like prevent the populace from eating the zoo animals because they were starving, that kind of thing. Like Soviet Russia, if you remember, and to some extent Britain post-war, we didn't really go in for any kind of big architectural, like exuberance because we had no money. And because we had not many men left also to do the building. So lack of money equals buildings that evoke feelings of suicide, basically, or thoughts of suicide. Whereas the cathedrals that we have, I can genuinely say that when I was a girl and I went to one of the cathedrals that I now attend, I remember clearly thinking, I wonder if this is what heaven is like. Like it's just so awe-inspiring and so beautiful and big, like it just, and so there's I won't say ambiance because I think of the British comedian Mickey Flanagan every time I say that word. But what I will say is there's an aura of, still not the right word. There's an atmosphere of not only solemnity, but of peace. And I often, whilst I'm sitting, listening to the choir or standing, listening to the choir or sitting down again, doing the prayers or standing up, it's a little bit, let's all stand up, let's all sit down-y. But I often do think to myself, because when I did my family tree, I made a point of finding out all the parish churches in those areas, to be fair. At that time, my family wasn't as well dispersed as it is now. But that was very interesting to me as well. And I sit and I think of all of those people, like there's nothing that hasn't been prayed about or thought about within those walls, if you see what I mean. And that those churches have stood there through the Great Fire of London, through the plague, through the Crusades, like through some big time stuff, through the Blitz, through, gosh, just through the expansion of London, like you wouldn't believe. For example, Shoreditch, it's a place that's mentioned in the song Oranges and Lemons, the Bells of St. Clement's, that song. So the Bells of Shoreditch, which is actually called St. Leonard's, but everybody calls it Shoreditch Church. That church was built just some few hundred years ago. However, to the glory of God and as attestation to Romans 8:28, if you look, I mean, maybe I'll find them, but you can just do a little search engine of your choice. Have a look. The original plans for the church, when it was built, there were maybe, I don't know, a handful of cottages around. That time in that central part of London, which as it is now, was rural to a large extent. And the church is built for a capacity of many people, and it's a very impressive structure, and it would have been more impressive at the time because the City of London wasn't behind it in the skyline, etc. So it was built as if it was in the middle of a city, and within a few short decades it was if you build it they will come kind of thing, and they did, and that's all to God's glory. I've waffled off there. I went into local history and family genealogy, as we like to call it. So Costomamis is asking me, I think I did answer you this, but I'll answer, is this my full-time profession? And if not, what do you do? What you doing, sis, as it were? No, it's not my full-time profession, although every single day I do either teach apologetics or theology. I also am a university student again. Sunday is, of course, Speaker's Corner Day. I do, mainly apologetics and videos, as it were, and debates, etc. University is more like my not real life, that's wrong, secular focus, but that will eventually weave itself into, well, God's plan for me. But also I have some ideas about what I will do with those additional qualifications. So what I do is I do me. And I have qualifications for other professions, and I have used them in the past. But my focus and my passion and the promise that I made to God is doing what I do here, as it were, with you lot. And also the Persecuted Church, because after my initial Luther thing, I wasn't laying on the floor in Germany like just being struck by lightning or anything, but I was kind of laying on a spiritual floor in London, having just been slapped about by Satan. After that, once I got to Speaker's Corner and once I stopped feeling like drained and losing my voice, and once I started praying basically about it and for it, it's very dangerous to pray when you're me. Like I've got to be so careful with the words because I get what I ask for, and then I'm like, God's got a sense of humor. It wasn't quite what I meant. Either way, I prayed for a new focus, and it's the most oppressed I've ever felt. Satan aside, like God telling me so forcefully, the Persecuted Church, that I kept saying, I got the memo. I'm making the videos. Like, I got it. Couldn't sleep. I kept dreaming. I kept seeing this picture of this little Nigerian girl with the knife hanging out. It's not, wow. It's bad news. I'm so pleased that I just thought of that while I was answering the question, because I sent off, as I told my regulars, and I also made a video about it yesterday, but you won't know that yet because JC's like a manana kind of guy. And I think I'm mirrored at the moment. Yeah, I am. Sorry about that. Either way, this is from Open Doors. That is advertisement, but it isn't paid. Open Doors. All right, you remember them? They're the ones who issue once a year in-depth reports on the top 50 countries where Christians experience anything from death to like wrongful impact, like all of the 50 countries for this current year, as it were, are high to extreme levels, whereas previous years had included mid-range horror. Now the whole 50 is high to extreme levels of persecution from mainly a well-known religion of peace. It's the Buddhists again. I'm joking. So what I'm going to do, if you just pause your questions, I apologise if I didn't see any. Thank you, Mohammed. It's a blessing to have you here. Honestly, we will get you, bruv. We will get you. I'm praying for you, mate. And my prayers are like bang. She said with humility. Okay, so this is the letter writing guide for autumn 2021. Does everybody have a pen to hand? Well, not everybody, but could you type a number 1 if you have any pen, pencil / I don't know, mascara wand or a finger in the dirt type arrangement, or like, I'm not asking for money, by the way, or I'm not asking for money on behalf of these people. Thanks, Martin, Rodney. What a sterling effort at organizational skills. Going home, I'm happy you're a Protestant. Does that mean you also have a pen? Because otherwise it seems a strange answer. Brilliant, brilliant. Andrew, lovely to see you. Jonathan, to write stuff down. It's as simple as that. I realised what you told me in the stream yesterday. I'd been coming at you, bruv, as if you were like fully on board with what I believe. Phil, do they melt in Australia? I don't know. Protestant. I'm not asking. I love Catholics, Protestants, Orthodox. I am Protestant. Do you have a pen? Pens. Pen and paper. It's like this. Look, it looks like this, potentially. And then you have a piece of paper. See, there's Jordan's, well, you won't see it. There's Jordan's topic right at the top there. Nice. Martin's ready. So let's do this shiz. Okay, but now we're, sorry, get excited. Right, so we're just going to listen a minute and try not to be blinded by the glare from my specs. Okay, so there's a couple of testimonies. How does David Wood do it? He looks right at the camera and you don't see the... How, David? How do you do it? Are they just empty specs? That's what I want to know. Okay, so I'm just going to whiz through it. It's just a short double-sided thing here. Let's do it because we love Jesus and we love our brothers and sisters. So I'm going to skip that lady. Sorry, lady. She's the generic lady at the beginning. Okay, so Malaysia. You may have heard of Malaysia. And it has been over 4 years since... I'm not going to do all of them. Don't panic. Since Pastor Raymond Koh, K-O-H, was abducted. So abduction also features highly on the one of the demographics that are used to ascertain the point scoring system, which denotes your place in the top 50 as per the Open Doors assessment tables, I guess. So over 4 years since he was abducted, and he has left a grieving family who are still searching for answers, unsurprisingly. So he was driving to visit a friend on the 13th of February 2017. So it's coming up for 5 years in 3 short months, and was abducted. Just under 2 years later, in April of 2019, the Human Rights Commission of Malaysia, which the acronym is SUHAKAM, SUHAKAM, concluded that he was a victim of enforced disappearance. Get on this, everyone, by the state. Okay, so yeah, I have a quote. Well, no, I don't have the quote yet. I'm going to carry on reading through. And yeah, so forced disappearance by the state as deemed sufficient evidence, I guess, by the Human Rights Commission of that country. And yet the family still don't have any firm answers as to what happened to Pastor Raymond or where he is now. They also don't know why he was even taken, although he had been accused of sharing the gospel with Malay Muslims, which is illegal in Malaysia, I should add. And this may partly account for his capture / abduction / disappearance. Yes, it is Hans. Hannah, you're absolutely right. David Wood's channel is brilliant. Okay, so then it's telling me how my supporters further helped. Anyway, so I'm going to go with our support has enabled Open Doors to help the family of Pastor Raymond in their advocacy efforts, i.e. representing themselves at a judicial level or an official level, and calling for the truth and for justice. And our prayers and letters will help show Susanna and her adult children, Esther, Elizabeth, and Jonathan, that they are not forgotten. They're so important because I have a friend of mine, a fellow Christian brother in Pakistan, and he said it to me once, and I was just really choked. He was like, I feel like he feels like we've forgotten all of the Pakistani suffering, the Christians there, and I, for one, haven't. I don't think I ever will. So the closing date for letters of support, Christmas cards, Easter cards, is not until the 31st of January 2022. And I don't want you to think, oh, that's great. Like if you're a procrastinator like me, yeah, that's not going to fly. We need to do it soon. I'm going to, what am I going to, let's have a butcher's. Okay, so we just did Malaysia. Let's go with, that's not nice. Let's go with Colombia, which is South America. Last time I checked, anyway. In August of 2019, Daniela, who is, or was, I should say, I guess, 13, and Sebastian's, who is 6, their father was shot dead in his own home. He was a pastor, bit of a trend, in a dangerous part of the country. Are there any non-dangerous parts? I'm not sure. He paid the ultimate price for speaking out against organised crime, which is the maker of misery. Don't think, Godfather and Mafia and sort of, jazz it up in your mind. In these poverty-ridden areas, they just, it's not funny. Living off other people's misery is one thing if you're government or the mainstream media, but I don't know, man. It's not a good look for Jesus. Sadly, there are many more children like Daniela and Sebastian who live in rural areas and who suffer. Let's not beat around the bush. Either because of the actions of illegal armed groups or they're more traditional leaders who do not accept Christians within the indigenous communities. And these children struggle to find hope and they need encouragement, quite frankly. If you think back, please God, you had a childhood that, other than teenage angst, was at least, that you knew where your food was coming from. You knew you were loved. You were warm. You were, you were not in fear unnecessarily. Yeah, we can provide them hope and encouragement by sending pictures like postcards or greeting cards. And for this campaign, this specific one that uses Daniela and Sebastian as their a focus, there are 2 groups that we can send messages to in this area. So that is Daniela and Sebastian, literally, or Christian children living in the following regions. Oh my gosh, my Spanish is not up to this. It might be all right. Nariño, because there's a little squiggle on the second end. Tumaco. Where's JC when you need him? Arauca or Arauca. Choco, obviously I can say that. Catatumbo, Buenaventura, Cordoba, and Cauca, C-A-U-C-A. Either way, pens at the ready. Okay, you can send digital cards. The closing, shizzle, fam. The closing date for that has gone. Wish I'd have looked to the bottom. Okay. I wonder if they'll still pass them over. All right, let me check the closing dates before I start. I see. The ones on the front are more recent. Okay. Okay, so Nigeria. And also, if you do go to Open Doors, for one, you can get maybe the winter version as soon as it comes out. Also, there are it's either a get involved tab or volunteer, something along those lines. I'm going to grab those links and stick them in the description box. She loves promising stuff for the description box, as if you're all crippled and haven't got fingers. Either way, hold on. Links. for Open Doors and ICC. Okay. Nigeria, Sele. I'm so sorry to the lady if I just pronounced that wrong. SELE. Definitely Bill, the Great Commission, and it is great. Like when you do it, my mother used to sponsor a little girl. I think it may have been in Colombia, in a South American country. It's just nice. You get like, I'm not asking you to sponsor. I mean, that's down to your own like financial situation and your conscience and whether or not you feel that that's like the correct use of your funds. But it is like a blessing. You get little cards and updates and stuff. So Sele was only 2. Oh, sorry, this is the young man in the photograph. Anyway, he was only 2 when his father was killed. You want to know why? For loving Jesus, for being a Christian. And at 13, he and his siblings now help their mother, who is Cecilia, with farming. And they're in a rural community to ensure that the family is fed, basically. And for some children, the field surrounding their house is as far as their future will ever go in terms of physicality, because there is no extra money for schooling whatsoever. Thanks to potentially our support, Sele can go to a Christian school where he can study and dream of making an impact on people's lives in a similar fashion to what we're all engaged in, hopefully. And he wants to be a doctor, so not similar one bit. But he will make a difference as a Christian with an education who isn't stuck on a farm, quite frankly. So I want to say thank you to the brothers and sisters who are helping me to pay my school fees, he shares. My favourite subject is maths. Go on, son. Because I love calculating after school and they can't fit any LGBT narratives into maths. Not yet, they can't anyway. After school, I like to read my books and do my assignments. I'm joking. If I don't go to school, I will feel very sad because I will not become the doctor I want to be. So the school is also helping him, because it's a Christian school, to grow in his faith. He says, I want to be like David, who had great faith in God and defeated Goliath, he says. So with a closing date of next year, yay, we can give him encouragement in faith and encouragement to continue his studies. And I will give you the address. That's by post. That requires a stamp. And when I say post, I mean snail mail. You may remember it if you're over 12. And Pastor Jeremiah, actually, let me show you his, well, the writing will be no good, but that's Pastor Jeremiah. And anyone who's like watched any of my stuff may recognize him because he's on the front of, don't know where it is now, in my paperwork in the big pile that I always keep meaning to get to. He was on the front of the top 50 list, I think, this year. So you can also contact him by post. Let me check that. No, you can't. No, you can't, because the deadline. So the online ones, I think, are more, more forward thinking. The post can be tricky, obviously, because it could also dox Christians. So we don't want to do that. So for the, let's see, there is an encouragement app that I want to tell you about because I find it pretty weird. Like they're all undercover, but they've all got, anyway. Thousands of believers from countries across the Middle East. So this includes Syria, Iraq, Jordan, and Egypt. All that, yeah, Egypt. Have signed up to receive daily messages from Christians around the world. And you, yes, you, I'm looking at you, sir, you, madam, can be one of those Christians. You can write to them. And Open Doors has launched a Hope for the Middle East encouragement app. I love it when a plan comes together. What you do is you get your pen right now, and after writing this down, you email a short message. I've done this myself. I don't know if this was prior to the app being launched. I'll tell you that story in a minute. And this is the address that you want to give it to, and I'll do it phonetically also. So for those of us who spell checks or, non-dyslexic or whatever, inspire@opendoorsus.org. And that is India, November, Sierra, Papa, India, Romeo Echo Inspire, and that is which is at that squiggly thing, the little A with a circle around it. Just going to cancel that call because go away. So it's Inspire at Open Doors UK, which is Oscar Papa Echo November Delta Oscar Romeo Sierra Uniform Kilo dot Oscar Romeo Golf. And obviously you can rewind once we've finished. You can send maybe a picture. You can even send a 15-second video, and it will be passed on to persecuted Christians who will be able to access the messages via their phones or their tablets or their, I don't know, PCs. And the app is well received. This is a quote from one believer who shall remain anonymous, obviously. May the Lord bless you. I'm very happy with this app. I hope we can encourage each other in reading the gospel. And another one said, thank you for this valuable devotion. Love that sort of stuff. And the encouragement is mutual also. One of another Open Doors supporter, as opposed to one of the persecuted, said, in these uncertain times, it is a great blessing to be able to send words of encouragement and receive feedback from thousands of our brothers and sisters in the Middle East who have been encouraged by the app. And I would add that it's a blessing to be a blessing. It's nice to be nice. It's lovely to love. Like, it's all the good stuff. Like, just do it, is what I'm telling you. Also, you can create and send a message by going here, opendoorsuk.org/write, as in Whiskey Romeo India Tango Echo, as in right, not as in right now. opendoorsuk.org/write. That's the sign language. Also, if you are not in the UK, I mean, you're more than welcome to put the UK on the end of the Open Doors, UK.org, or you can go to Open Doors of your own region. There is definitely an Australian office, as it were, because I accidentally subscribed to those in the olden days, and I kept thinking, why is it always around that area? Until I realised. But yeah, if you just put in Open Doors with your own search browser, as it were, you'll be directed to your closest one. So I can take the specs off now, stop making out I'm a secretary. Ooh, okay. Questions. It's getting dark out already. Winter is just so wintry. Like, I'm pleased you're all amening and happy. Okay, so yeah, you don't have to spend any money, is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it's not, I mean, they do need money, don't get me wrong at all. But if God blesses you with that capacity, he's already blessed you with that capacity and you know about it. So me asking is like I'm really not. I'm asking for your prayers for these people always. And I'm asking, like, just get a pen and a paper. If you're going to be writing out a Christmas card list, or that's what that phone call was, someone wants me to write their Christmas cards for them. I'm that kind of girl. Then just add another Christmas card. Like, there's always a couple left in the box. Well, with me, they're unwritten in my bag because I take them with me because I know I'll forget. But yeah, do it. What you got to lose? What are you doing that's so important that you ain't got 23 seconds to just like scribble out a little message? And like, I hate the thought of it. I really dislike intensely the thought that they think that we don't know, or because you wouldn't know if you didn't listen to me or Open Doors or persecution.org. But I don't like the thought that they think we don't care, or that we've forgotten them or forsaken them. It's not nice. Okay, so any questions, and then I maybe wrap up because we're coming up to like 50 minutes. Any more? I will do a prem later. I love saying that when things are going to be re-uploaded, because then as I'm in the live chat, I'm like, no, I'm not. Don't listen to her, that kind of thing. Okay, Andrew, good to see you, Andrew. God bless you. That is excellent. First of all, snooping around was never like so potentially glorifying to God, if you see what I mean. For a uni student. Okay. I have the Berean, so the BSB There is also, actually, Andrew, there's you can get apologetics Bibles, which are really, I'm just getting a phone call, sorry, it's not a call-in show. I'm just going to pass on the message that I just got. Hey, I'm in London, come for a beer, dum-dum. I'll get him later. So the Berean Study Bible, Apologetics Bibles. If you remind me in the comment section, there are some free PDF versions, and there's also with the one of the Apologetics Bible companies, you can sign up for a free email for 52 weeks, which takes you in a link to an entry, and some of them are pretty interesting. I find them to be anyway. But yeah, let's pray. Let's pray. Let me just answer this donut a minute. I am live, you donut. Okay. Let's see if they message back. Right. How do you reconcile with the ministerial priesthood of the church thing? Are you asking me, Baz? Because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how you just landed with that. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? Ministerial? Why does it need reconciling? Talk to me, child. I don't know what you mean. Martin Ellen, good to see you. Always. Jonathan, add in the description. Thank you for the reminder there, lovey. Which one? What do you want me at? Making promises I can't keep it. Okay, they're still messaging me, but now they're like, whoops. Okay, so what am I adding, Jonathan, my love? What am I adding? The Apologetics Bible link? Maybe. Let me write it down anyway, because it's a good little idea. The PDFs. PDF of. Oh, of the yeah, the online. Oh, let me write it down. Sorry, online shiz, and then later I'll be like, what shiz? Thoughts on the rise of Christianity in Iran? James, hiya. Christianity is growing, no matter what Islamic apologists would love you to believe. There is a tsunami, to quote somebody, of apostasy in Islam also. The rise of Christianity anywhere is a blessing, whether or not it's, that guy in it, watcher. Yeah, there is Christianity is on the rise, not only by birth rate either, if you see what I mean, which can be leveled as an accusation against the growth of certain peaceful religions. I think it's always a blessing. I don't know of any downside other than increased levels of persecution, but as we grow in numbers, I mean, it's understandable that we are the most persecuted religion on the planet. We are the biggest religion on the planet. So we would have higher numbers, but we do have some higher numbers. And, what is it now? As of last February/March, it was 340 million Christians worldwide living in high to extreme levels of persecution. That doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of the mid-level. And we are including being macheted, raped, set on fire, buried alive, falsely imprisoned, ripped to shreds in the street, kidnapped, forced into marriages, i.e. raped regularly for young girls, having your children raped in front of you and dismembered, having your parents dismembered in front of you before you're raped potentially. I mean, they like to spice it up. Rolling up into a village in Nigeria, just setting the whole thing on fire. Hundreds of thousands of internally displaced peoples, meaning people who are now refugees in their own country, as it were, because they have nowhere to live, they have nowhere to be safe. And then, insult to injury, I could feel myself going there. Then there have been attacks on the camps that are created for internally displaced peoples. I mean, shut the front door. Oh, Islam, mate. But the number one persecutor, as it, like, not numerically, but the country that holds the number one spot is godless. So it's not all Islam or Buddhism, as I like to joke, but it is, like, I reckon 7 of the top 10, and then the rest of the 40 There's not many that are not. Atheism can only go so far in terms of like takeovers of government and Marxist twaddle. Take a breath, Kay. Okay, well. Right. Yeah. Okay, any more questions? James. I ain't coming out, bruv. It's Arctic shizzle. I'd love to come for a beer, dum. However, I don't drink beer. And I'm clever. Oh, shizzle. Charge it. I know what pub you're in. Go and ask them for the chargy thing. Either way, it's cold out and I've got to write my neighbours Christmas cards. Bless them. He does have a sense of humour, Jeff. I will attest to that. Thomas, I'm glad you're just kidding, because my crystal ball, even though it's not, look, mirrored, it's I hate doing that. Yes, there is my crystal ball. It doesn't work. I think maybe I got disconnected. Right. Any more? We've got like less than 4 minutes until it's around hour, because me personally, like David was saying it last night as well, and it's so true. Anything over half an hour, as you see it always past, you're like, oh, I'm never going to get around to watching it. How do I celebrate Christmas, Jonathan Terrell? With jocularity and joy. I don't know, with family, by the giving of gifts, by the massive consumption of chocolate and cakes. That's why I'm getting my Christmas body ready. That's why I've lost a bit of weight. Other people get their beach body ready, not me. I like to make room for the mince pies. I celebrate Christmas every day, if that makes sense. As in, I am inordinately thankful that Christ became, like the word became flesh and dwelt among us. But yeah, family, the giving of gifts. I'm quite a big gift giver anyway, in as much as that's one of the love languages I use to show that I care. My time, I also like sacrifice when I love people. So yeah, that's how I do it traditionally. Turkey, stuffing, non-food related thingies. I won't be able to go to church, not my own church anyway, because my family are a little bit further out. I don't mean like as in out there, because that's impossible. I mean not as central as I am, or not as close to my church. Why did world leaders shut their eyes when coming to Christian? Why do they? Because it interferes with the Islamophobia narrative. You notice it's pretty difficult. The cognitive dissonance would be hard even for them. Sometimes, I mean, the British government did, to their credit, cite the persecution and the genocide, they officially recognised it as, of Christians in Nigeria when giving our reasoning as to why we were going to withhold foreign aid. That was pre-COVID, as far as I remember, so it wasn't because we were skint, and that means without funds, but we did withhold money. And Christians will suffer because we withheld that money, but it's a shame, isn't it? Like, because they're already suffering. So let's not be ridiculous. Why give money to people who are chopping up, I won't say the brothers and sisters of the government, because not all of our government are Christian, but some of them are. Some, like the Speaker of the House, I do apologise, is a Roman Catholic of good standing. I very much appreciate his forthrightness when he speaks about his Christianity and his views on, things, shiz, as I like to call them. Right. Come on, we're at 59 minutes. Let's hit me with one more. Hit me with it. Oh, I should have spoke about matters of the heart. I've been having some little roller coaster, people. But that's there's potentially one for when I've had a glass of wine. And then people better watch out. Mohammed, you don't know what they're doing in the Middle East. Do you mean the Christians? What they're doing is suffering. Happy to help. If you mean the non-Christians, either turning a blind eye or actively getting on with it. Exactly. Costa, that's a brilliant sentiment, and it's the truth. The church would exist, but let's not go ripping down churches because I really like mine and it's really old. But yeah, even if there were no visible temples, as it were, any visible buildings that we call churches or cathedrals, etc., the church, and I don't mean denomination, Baz, before you start spitting out your gin, I mean the church, the body of believers, the body of Christ who are saved. That's down to Yahweh to sort out. So yeah, Christians of any denomination who are actually saved is who I mean. St. Paul's, not really the shrine, Baz. So Baz will get his pointing out that Lord Nelson's tomb is in the crypt or the catacombs or the downstairsness of St. Paul's Cathedral, which is the cathedral which is from the year 620 that I mentioned earlier. Yes, it is. I wouldn't say it's a shrine. There's no pictures of Mary. I'm only joking. Or candles. I don't think it's a shrine. I think it's a resting place. I think there are many, many, many of our, sorely missed deceased, as it were, who are enshrined, not made into shrines, within the walls and the floors and the underground parts of churches in this country, at least. And there's probably, I'm going to go out on a limb, some dead cats as well in the doorways, because in Britain we like to keep it weird. So, I've seen Nelson's tomb. I've seen Nelson's column. I've read the histories, the maritime stuff, Kiss Me Hardy, etc. If it was Tom Hardy, I might be on board with that sentiment. Just got to throw that out there if Tom ever watches. The marble sarcophagus was intended for Henry VIII. Was it really? I didn't know that. I used my mum particularly very much appreciated like Tudor history, like royal, the Tudors, as it were. I always did like history also. My favourite type of music, Costa, it's too eclectic. This morning, I've got an inner DJ. Let me just preface this. I've got a heckler. I sound crazy. Okay, so don't panic. I have psychology qualifications. Everybody has an id, an ego, and a super ego. I have a heckler who lives in my mind. It sometimes pipes up. If I am, it's me, like it's my voice. But sometimes if I get too like squishy or Disney or like vulnerable, like she just starts a running commentary, like jokes and like, oh, look at the state of you. Why are you saying that? That kind of thing. It could be her that does the music in the mornings. So after years and years of waking up, like, why God, why am I still awake or alive or whatever? Now I wake up happy 99% of the days, like Groundhog Day. There's no Ned Ryerson, but I'm just like, bing, I'm awake and I'm happy. Post coffee. Let's not get carried away. But every day, no, that's a fib. Most days I wake up with music playing. A lot of the times it's significant to me as well, because it will keep playing in my mind until I kind of like pay attention to the lyrics, and then there will be something in there that I'm like, oh gosh, that's for me. I think there's, it could be God or it could be my subconscious. But this morning I woke up with, I won't say it, but I don't know if you've ever heard of Dennis Leary, any of you, an American comedian. He did the No Cure for Cancer tour. He was a bit mean about Bill Hicks, but I'm showing my age here. Either way, he did a tune that is an Americanized version. Just put in, oh gosh, how am I going to? Yeah, if you put in hole, a-hole, that's the one. But the full version of the word, that's what I woke up with this morning. I'm not sure what's in. Yeah, I do know. There's some lines in there that I greatly appreciate in that tune. But usually, my musical tastes. One of my favourite pieces of music is called The Departure Suite, and that was featured in The Leftovers, which was also a good show. It's just beautiful. Right, I'm putting that in the link. Wait, right there. because if you don't love it, I don't know what you're doing with your lives. I don't know what you're doing with your lives. Also, what else am I going to stick in there? All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you people who I love. I'm going to make, because I like sacrificing my time and giving you gifts, I'm going to make a playlist of tunes, right? Tunes. There's no other way of putting it. I don't mind if you come at me, bros, sisters. I don't mind. But you will know that everything on there, it has a meaning for me at least. And it's like, I like Motown. I like grime. I like, I don't know, classical, certainly. I like music. I like garage. I like old school garage. Let's not get carried away. But yeah, James, I can't come to the pub, babes. I can't come to the pub. I have Christmas cards to do. I have #reasons. I know you're on a less percent. I'm coming off in a minute. I'll give you a bell. Like ding-a-ling, last orders, that sort of bell. You can't leave it to the last minute and start sitting in the pub and asking me out anyway, bruv. Got a life. Got stuff to do, babes. Love you and all that, but got stuff to do. University. Don't FFS in my live chat, you little fish. Why not? Because of #university, I pay a lot of money to be this stressed and to procrastinate this much. And day after tomorrow is my final lecture, and then only a few short breakdowns to the final assignment being handed in. And this is where they're so old-fashioned and authoritarian. They want it to be written out first, as in an assignment, not just me sending a bit of paper with my name on it. Apart from that, thank you very much for your most generous invite. And I would take you up on it. Come out for Christmas, babes. Come to the SOCO thing. All right, message me in a minute. Come out with a better amount of phone charge. And why am I doing my whole live stream just talking to you? Right, come to the Christmas thing. All right. I can't. Why didn't I send you the link in the first place? I started looking through my phone book and then I don't know. No, Jim. Is it Jim Bob? I loved you in the Waltons, but no. I have done in the past, not for money. I used to volunteer, Bob and I. We should get back to that. That kind of got disrupted because of COVID, but it was a Roman Catholic church that I volunteered in, even though I'm not one of that flock. And when they started doing all their to sit down, stand up, I just used to do the washing up because it was like a homeless, like a meal and a blessing and a thing. And it was lovely. I did enjoy that. Sam, there's just kidding. And then there's like, come to Jesus. I promise you'll be funnier when you do. When you say just kidding, people will be rolling about on the floor. They won't even have read that bit. Anywho, I'm going to stop this shiz now. This stream, as I like to call them, because one, I'm seizing up because I didn't take any vitamin joint tablets, whatever you call them. Right, last time, Jay, much as I love you, I ain't coming, bruv. You can't just drop it on me, lastminute.com. That's not an advertisement either. Honestly, if you'd have given me notice, I might have thought about it, but I'd have got you to a pub near me because I ain't silly, fam. Either way, no, that's my last no. And then I'm going to start getting aggy. Okay, and this is, I can see you've had 2 drinks already. So let's not. Either way, you can't be a little bit pregnant, Baz. Whatever they tell you, you can't be. You can have eaten too many mince pies, that's for sure. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Jane. Lots of love, etc. Come at Christmas and we'll have a right laugh, a proper laugh, roll about on the floor laugh. Jim Bob, where are you based, young man, young fella, my lad? Like continent. Don't give me a street address or anything because it's not always lovely people who come and watch these vids. Yeah, Jim Bob, if you let me know within the next, I don't know if you've wandered away from the keyboard, but I can help you out. I know Christians in many, many countries who could do with support /fellowship / helping out. Nope. Come on, mate. Why don't you just come Speaker's Corner? Come church Sunday. We go to Witherspoons afterwards for brunch. Jim Bob, drop me a comment thingy. Do you work Sundays? That's the point. Man like H, no. I leave the park when it's dark because the temperature drops dramatically, and you may have seen me shivering my way around on Sunday. No, it's just a thing of, I mean, I was still there in the dark the week before. I was filming in the dark, but for one, I get all the dots in front of my eyes from the silly light that he shines right in my eyeballs, and also, no, it just gets too cold. Too cold. It's too cold, even with the pretend sun that we have in England. No, nothing to do with that. But I will say this, man, like H, I got home last night. Numb feet, you know. Last year at the park, I was getting to the pub even, being there for half an hour. Sorry if this is all a bit too much information. But for example, if I were to go to the facilities / bathroom, which is what Americans go, I could feel the cold radiating outwards from my legs. I didn't even have to put my hand on my thigh to feel the cold. I was cold. And then last night I come home, gone a bit London. I came home and it took minimum after an hour. My fingers, I had the heating on, I had a hot water bottle, I had an extra jumper on, I still had my scarf on, I kept my hat on. I'm not joking. Heating, hat, scarf, hot water bottle, everything on my bed, all kind of that. And after an hour, still my fingers were not room temperature. They were still cold. And then there's people trying to out cold me in the live stream, telling me, yeah, we've had our first snow. You're sitting indoors typing it. But I digress. That we've gone way over an hour now. There's no park today, Jim Bob. It's only Sundays, love. So if you don't graft on a Sunday, St. Paul's Cathedral is a blinding church. Very impressive. A bookshelf tour. I can't take this out of me. I don't know. Maybe that's a thing for you young people. I don't know what that means. Anyhow, Jim Bob, anytime you're welcome. Drop me a comment. If you want it to be a private comment, I don't know why. I do know why. If you want to, I don't know, give any information you don't want everyone else reading it, drop a link in your comment, and then it just gets held for review, and I'm the only one who can see it. Costa Kane is well. That's all I can tell you. He's well. He may potentially come out on one of our Christmas things. I don't know the guest list for the first one. I'm helping to organise the second one, the SOCO one. So actually, I didn't send him an invite. That's the point. But yeah, he may be at the other one. Thank you, Carol B. Thank you, my love. See, there's a woman talking sense. There's a woman talking sense. London, even though we're not out in made-up place names in Canada, there's a place, I swear it sounds like Sausage Central or something, sausage, whatever it is. There's the Northwestern Territories. They just gave up creating mental names at that point. They said, yeah, we'll just call this whole big chunk that's bigger than loads of England's or loads of Britain's. We just call it the Northwest Territory. Use it like a cupboard. Stick the natives over there. St. Paul's Cathedral, Jim Bob, is right near to St. Paul's Station on the Central Line. If you're coming out of North London, sort of Angel Way, you can get I think you can get a 55. Don't quote me on that. You can get a 15, but that's coming from a different area. I would get on an Angel, change at Bank, go to St. Paul's. As you come out, you'll hear church bells potentially, but that's you just got to sort of veer to the left of the station and then look straight to your left and you'll see the side of the church. Go back, turn right, turn left. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, boom, you're on the steps. Yes, yeah, exactly. It's massive. It's got the big dome that used to be on the top of the LWT, London Weekend Television? Yeah, it's that one. It's that one. Also, Jamie, you're welcome, unless your phone's died. But come church. Don't worry about how far you've got to come. Just come. Everyone who's in London or just outside. Right, I'm going to go because honestly, it's like Toddler Alert happened ages ago. Bill didn't even pull me on it. Anyway, I got stuff written down now. Playlist of good musicness, links for Open Doors, ICC, Apologetics Bible PDF, and online shiz. I've already forgotten what the online shiz is, but let's have fun. Who knows? I love you to bits as well. Come, man, just come to Speaker's Corner. It is cold, or just come church. The pagan path, bro. For one, come to Jesus, and then you might get the promptings of the Holy Spirit when you miss the notifications. For two, just rewind in a minute. It's just questions, answers, waffling, bit of a persecution doodah. And yeah, I am on my way out 'cause it's like an hour and 15, unless I like download it and chop it up and don't do it to me. Oh, I've got uni stuff to do. I love a little It's never too much. Never too much for Jesus or you people. Just not enough hours in the day, traditionally. All right, then. Nice one. The Pagan Path. If you're planning on reading, John, not saying that, like, you know, I'm all that in a bag of chips. However, I have read it out, like verbatim, word for word, on this channel. So if you put in SOCO Films, Gospel of John, or something like that, you'll see it. Thank you, Jonathan. I like your style. I am. Life's too short to start pussyfooting around when it comes to Jesus and all that. Just boldly proclaim. Don't be ashamed of the gospel. Just don't do it. Not you, Pagan Path, but we'll get you there. I'm praying for you. Oh, everybody, I'm so pleased I remembered. Please do pray for the user known as the Pagan Path. They don't want the prayers. We're going to do it anyway. God knows, Romans 8:28 style. God works to the all things work to the glory of those who love God and are called according to His purpose. So, the more they struggle, the more we pray. They need the prayers. We need the practice. On that bombshell, God, she's going to get off this stream in a minute. I swear. I'm going to start a prayer group. I keep threatening it, / promising it, / procrastinating about it. I was either going to do it in an entire an entire Discord server or Skype, potentially Telegram. The person who is assisting me in this spiritual endeavor is a bit of a granddad, as it were, when it comes to tech. Bit of a Luddite. Look it up, Luddites. Love them. Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of holding back, because it all gets a bit too complex and, less monosyllabic, as it were. But my aim was to make a prayer group potentially with no other input other than from a few admins who could pass on the prayers, because I've got online, that's another thing, I've got a prayer calendar. It's for November, so it's basically almost done. But we can modify it for December, and it has different countries from the top 50 list like marked off, and then we can all do it at the same time. So that prayer group. Then there was going to be then I want another group for fellowship, I guess, because I feel guilty that I'm not going to let people post in the prayer group. And the other one would be for new Christians, or for like inquiring minds, or for like genuine people seeking the truth. And then we could have some old timers / the spiritually mature, or all of us, as I like to say, in there answering questions and helping out these peeps, because Jesus told us to, and who are you to say no? Anyway, I'm on it. Someone remind me in about 3 weeks, because Christmas I've got to have a couple of short breakdowns while I realise that I still haven't written the list. Anyway, I don't want to leave it on that like weird little display of my non-organisational skills, but I will. Pray for the Pagan Path. Do it, Bill. Do it. Between us, we've got 24 hours a day covered. Ceaseless prayers, as it were. Okay, anyway. Jim Bob, nice to make your acquaintance. See you later, Pagan Path. Hopefully he's not running. What, these? this mirroring business. You want to know what these books are? Oh, come on. Right. There is London Crime and Vice, Myths and Legends of the British Isles. There are about 7 Bibles. Holy Warriors, which is on the Crusades. There's Metaphysics. There is Oxford Library of Words and Phrases. Basically, I like languages, especially English. I like theology. I like London/Britain. I like funniness. Like book-wise, true crime also was always one of my big passions. One of my favourite authors, who's not with us anymore, was Colin Wilson. He wrote The Criminal History of Mankind. Excellent book. Don't think it's in circulation anymore, but it's online. For anyone who wants books and they can't find them, or they don't have the cash to buy the hard copy, archives.org, or is it archive.org? One of those. You'll know when you click on it because it says the Wayback When Machine or something like that. You type in the book, check the thing that says meta search, I don't know, like text, and mostly lots and lots and lots of books are there in many different languages also. And also Scribd, Scribd. It is a paid service, but you get 60 days free if you click the link that I will now put in the description box. And that, I'm not joking, that's even more impressive. That has got my uni stuff and everything, and that's a massive saving for me. Z Library as well, according to Jim Bob, or maybe he's German, Z Library, I'm not sure. But yeah, lots of books. Okay, right, I'm going to do it. I'm pressing the button because this mouth just runs. I mean, it's a blessing. Don't. Jay Smith was at the park. He had to go. Then Bob showed up as a response to Jay. And then Bob was there. Then I came as a response to Bob as Bob went for a little sabbatical. Clearly, Jesus wants a big mouth in that park. So if you want to help me out, Jim Bob, babes, I'll be back. Don't panic. Don't panic. I also have abandonment issues and hate saying goodbye, as you know, because like about an hour ago, I was doing a quick stream. I'll be back. I'm not Arnie or nothing. Like, promise. I don't know that I'll do another live stream today, but I'll definitely put on a flip, a prem, and then I can be not little spiders. I can be typing in the live chat at the same time. Bless you. Bless you. You'll get used to me, Jim Bob. You'll be like, gosh, this woman don't shut up. Okay, Jonathan, I don't think that that Mohammed's going to... Oh, no, you're not asking Mohammedan. You're asking, have you read Surah of Matt? Don't pay money for that. So have a look on those websites I just told you. Don't pay money for his name. But yeah, Mohammed, what a laugh he must have been after a couple of drinks. Oh no, no one was allowed to drink. Right. I'm going to end it there. Love you people. God bless you. Don't forget the shiz, the stuffs, the important stuff. Oh, that is what is going in the description box as well, just in case you never found a pen. Description box. Oh, do I want to put the addresses? Because there are mongs who come on here just to troll and be hateful. Let me pray about that bit. But yes, but you can. I'm on Skype. You can DM me, and no, you can't DM me on YouTube, but you can send me a comment with the link in it. No one else will be able to see it, and maybe I'll be able to pass them on like that, depending on what Jesus tells me. So, laters, because otherwise I'm never going. I have to eat food and sort my life out so I can do another prem later. The prem, by the way, she's still going. Someone take the batteries out. The prem, this is without the energy drink that I had ready that's behind me. Can you imagine? The prem that I'm going to do later will be on my Teensy channel. Can we try and make it a less than Teensy channel? Because I'm nearly up to 1,000. I think I'm at like around 800. And that will really tick YouTube off. But yeah, that one, I will post a link to it in my community tab on this main channel. I think I promised JC that I was going to do something on the main channel. Oh, please, God, I may do that tomorrow. If I do it today, you will all be the first to know about it. Right. This is why I ain't coming to the pub, Jane. Either way, God bless. See you soon. If you're not a Christian yet, pull your finger out. What are you doing? Like, if you've got any weird questions, you're in the right place. Come and ask me. Comment section / in a live chat. I'm genuinely, all jokes aside, more than happy to spend time with people who genuinely are seeking the truth, as opposed to people who are just trying to set up a polemic. Jonathan, always. And also, Jesus takes care of me, so that's doubly yayness. Right, I've got to go. Food, exactly. Sustenance is the, yeah. All right then, laters, bye, ciao, arrivederci, abiento, I don't know, whatever other language. Oh, that's sign language, literally. I was gonna say, I could do sign language even though it's mirrored. Okay, you can all work that out, or I'll put some subtitles on later. All right, laters, bye. Press the button. That's it.